Hey everybody, it's Dave Sinclair here. I was asked this weekend in a support group, how do you, and what is a good way? This was by another person that's supporting a bunch of people in various aspects in support group. Person said, how do you basically not let all this energy come into you? And that's been something that I've really myself has been kind of a challenge when we're dealing with different and difficult conversations. If we take too much of that energy in, it can leave us feeling depleted. And I had recently read about this. I'm taking a course called Interpersonal Neurobiology by Dan Siegel, a fantastic guy that really talks about a lot of topics like this. And he explained it really well. I kind of gave the answer to the person, but I thought I would record this. Two reasons why. Number one, I want to have this video as a reminder to me if I take too much on from other people, in these people that I'm supporting when they're having a really difficult time, as well to help serve the people that ask the question, or just for you for general information as we get into these different discussions, these deeper discussions. How do you have these deeper discussions without letting them impact you too deeply? Because I think when we let them impact us too deeply, we have a tendency to shy away from them. Okay. And Dan Siegel talks about this thing called integration. And what integration is when we can realize that first, that person that I'm talking to, that's them. That's them over there, letting them be them and realizing that that's their energy. That's who they are. And I'm over here. It's me. Realizing that we're different beings, different people. We've got different thoughts, beliefs, all these things, different experiences. There's different stuff going on, different energies. Once we can realize that we're different, we differentiate. I'm me, you're you, your story's yours, my story's mine, your experience is yours, my experience is mine. Well, then we can also bring in some linkage. It still allows us to kind of talk. Well, that's your experience over there. I can kind of observe your experience. I don't have to own your experience. It's not my experience to have. And where that comes in is a lot of time people think, well, empathy. Empathy means that I have to feel exactly what they're feeling. I have to put myself in their shoes and be there. And when someone's telling a really challenging story, well, that can take a lot of our energy. Okay. You ever notice yourself saying, oh, I can feel exactly what you're going through, and I'm there and just feel the sinking feeling that I just want to get out of here. Well, that might be where that feeling is coming in. So he tells the story about a young clinician that he was working with. It was a family friend, a young therapist, and she was having a lot of struggle. She was coming home from work, having zero energy. She was just getting going. She was in her internship, and she turned to Dan to say, hey, this is what's going on. I just have no energy. I'm thinking about hanging this up. I thought about, I really wanted to be a therapist all my life. Now I'm doing it, and I'm hearing all these tough stories day after day. And Dan asked her, well, what are you doing? And she says, well, I'm putting myself in their shoes and I'm pretending that, I'm just imagining what it could be like. And I'm just finding that. He says, that might be a bit of a challenge if you're doing that. And he said, a better way to do it is rather than putting yourself completely in their shoes, imagine what it's like for them to be in their shoes. Okay. Rather than imagining what it would be like for you to be in their shoes, imagine what it would be like for them to be in their shoes. And he says, imagine this. Imagine you've got a picture of a train accident where some people got hurt. Okay. And imagine there's one person in there, and imagine this. Okay. Imagine what it would be like just to be exactly that person in that horrific train accident. Imagine being like that. Okay. And then he said that another way to think about it is imagine what it would be like for that person. Imagine their experience as they're in that situation. And he said it's very subtle, the difference, but it can make a world of difference. And I realize that that's what I do now. I don't imagine I am that person. If I just imagine what it is like for them to be in that experience, it allows it for me to just take a step, what is really going on there? And what is it like for them to be in that experience? And it helps set up more of a compassionate feel rather than an empathetic feel. And then from that point, we can be there to help support them however it is. And sometimes that support might just be listening. Just imagining what it is for them to be like in that situation allows us to simply be there. If they're looking for a little bit of help or they ask a question, then we can say, yeah, you know what, we can provide that. And it's less from a spot of us pretending that we're there and being all the way down in those feelings with them, and more from a regulated spot where we can differentiate, still link, and imagine what it's like for them to be there, and move forward more powerfully. So I hope you found that useful. It's kind of a little bit of a differentiation between, you know, empathy and compassion. And empathy is required for this compassion, like Dr. Siegel talks about. Yet, if we get too lost in trying to really be in that moment with that person, that can allow us to kind of sink too far to the point where it's almost too hard for us to help that person. Rather, just observing what is it like for them to be in that situation allows us to be there with them, to feel maybe what's going on there and feel that energy from what's going on with them, and really be able to say, oh yeah, I can see what it must be like to be in that situation. That must be hard for you. Okay. And it allows us to talk from that compassionate point of view. So I hope you found that useful. We'll talk again soon. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye-bye.